Hello, everybody. I thought I'd take a few minutes and go into explaining some of the objections that some of you appear to have about Matt Rhule being the next head coach in Nebraska football. And at the end, I'll talk about Mickey Joseph, because I think the biggest objection everybody has, or the people that are objecting to Matt Rhule, is that Mickey Joseph isn't going to be the next head coach. That'll be at the end. I'm John Johnston, CornNation. Please subscribe to this channel. Tell your friends. Like this video. All that kind of neat stuff to allow me to grow as a person and as a channel. Anyway, so the number one thing that keeps coming up is Matt Rhule's overall record as a head coach of 47-43. College head coach. We all know that he went to Carolina Panthers and he wasn't that good and they fired him, and oh my God. And then there's some of those people like, we hired a coach that somebody else fired. Yeah, if you're a coach, you get fired. That's how it goes. Everybody gets fired as a coach. Everybody. It's a way of life for them. But let's look at the 47-43 record. 2013 at Temple, he goes 2-10. Why? Because he's taken over a reclamation project. That's his first stint as a head coach. Temple Owls. You know, it's a good place to start. But he goes 2-10. That doesn't add to your overall record very well when you take over reclamation projects. 2017, Baylor, he is 1-11. Now, there's some people that have pointed out, well, Temple and Baylor weren't that bad off. Well, yeah, they were at the time he arrived. It's kind of like if you looked at Nebraska's overall record and then you went, well, they weren't that bad off. They're Nebraska. And then you looked at the last few years and went, oh my God, they suck. But 2013 Temple, rebuilding. 2017 Baylor, after the Art Briles scandal, they had severe NCAA restrictions and crap loads of players left their program because they could. So those two horrible years added to a lot of losses for Matt Rhule. So you might look at this and say, well, why did he do that? I think if you look at Matt Rhule's career, he was a climber. I mean, he was very quick. So he spent, 1, 2, 3, 4 years at Temple. His last 2 years are 10-4 and 10-3. And other people recognize that and they say, hey, that guy could be a coach at a bigger program. And if you're a coach at Temple and you're having success and somebody comes with more money and a bigger job and a bigger opportunity, do you turn that down just because your record might not be good enough, or you think, oh, somebody out there might object to me having losing seasons? No, you don't turn that down. You go to Baylor. And keep in mind that, number one, he went into reclamation projects. He didn't take over a team that was well-maintained and in good shape. He did this twice, and he rebuilt both of those, which is a key because Nebraska needs rebuilt. And secondly, he took risks. And there's a lot of people who never take risks, and they don't understand people who take risks, and they are content to do the same thing forever. And they never change, they never challenge themselves. Those are the people that are always right. The people that make mistakes and are wrong a lot, those are the people that challenge themselves, take on risks, try different things, new things. Matt Rhule went to Temple, then he went to Baylor, which was a hellscape. I remember when he took that job, I thought, that guy's a loony. And he turned around and in 2019, he goes to 11-3. And then he goes to the NFL. And, maybe his goal early on in his career was to get to the NFL, because the number of NFL coaches in the world is very, very small. I mean, compare it to the number of, plumbers, lawyers. Oh my God. 5th grade math teachers. There's a lot of those. NFL coaches, not so many. So a lot of times you look out there and you go, I'm going to be good and I'm going to reach the pinnacle of what I'm going to be the best at whatever my profession is. Well, how do you do that? I think in Matt Rhule's case, maybe he looked at it and went, I'm going to be an NFL coach. And then he got there and thought, I don't really want this. And that's okay. When I was early in my IT career, I thought the best people are programmers. I should be a programmer. And then I did programming. I was terrible, but I had to do it to find out. I don't do programming. I haven't done it for years, and I am terrible at it. I'm really good at other things, but not that. So the 47-43 record, largely because he took over reclamation projects and made them successful projects. And I think that's really the key there for looking at that in Nebraska. But if you just want to use that he's always Mike Riley 2 or Bill Callahan 2, those are cute statements. But all they show to people is that you really haven't done any looking into him, and you just are throwing that out there. Because if you look a little deeper, that's what you find, is he is rebuilt program. The other complaint I've seen, well, he's never stayed at a program more than 4 years. Oh my God, that's terrible. I mean, if 4 years from now, if he leaves our program, what will he be? Because he wants to go somewhere else. What will we have? A winning program. That's what we'll have. Because that's what he's left behind at 2016 Baylor and 2016 Temple and 2019 Baylor. He left winning programs. I think it'd be nice to somebody come into Nebraska and wipe the stink off of us by winning. That would be kind of cool. And the other thing about that is stop projecting the future. It's really unhealthy. And it's something that, there's so many things that can happen now in the next 3 years. I won't go into them. They're all terrible. But I don't think about them. Neither should you. The other thing to consider about that is, and this is a thing, he might be a builder and not a maintainer. And that's okay. If he's here for 4 years and he builds Nebraska into a decent football power and then leaves, that's fine. Because we would have wins and we would go to bowl games and maybe we'd win a championship or something. Oh, and the other thing is it comes out, Matt Rhule's never beaten a ranked team. Okay. And then people, if they want to be more specific, they go, he's never beaten a ranked team at Baylor. Okay, he had 4 tries in 2017 when he was 1-11, had a crappy team. Okay, he had 4 tries in 2018, didn't get it done. Finished that season 7-6, still rebuilding. Won a bowl game, beat Texas. 2019, he goes 11-3. He has 3 tries to beat ranked teams then, and 2 of those are Oklahoma. And these are all top 10 teams. So he loses to Oklahoma twice. He loses to Oklahoma in the regular season, Oklahoma the Big 12 championship, and then he loses to Georgia. Those are all top 10 teams. Those are hard to win games. I guess, this is like looking at his 500 record and complaining, oh, he's at 500 without going any further. When you look at, he never beat a ranked team at Baylor. Well, he had some shots, and he didn't. And I guess he was only there 3 years and he was still building. If you want to use that against him and just complain, honestly, I think you're just complaining. And I think really that leads me to my last bit on this, and that is Mickey Joseph. And I realized that a lot of you wanted Mickey Joseph to be the head coach, because you look at this and you go, I've seen these comments. Well, if he's going to be here for 4 years and just leave, why don't we just make Mickey Joseph the coach? Because we can't afford to hire a coach who hasn't been a coordinator or a head coach somewhere else and doesn't have that experience. That's just flat out it. This isn't a take a chance thing. We hired Matt Rhule because he was the best coach out there. And if you look at national people, they'll go, yeah, this is a good hire. But Mickey Joseph, the reason why Mickey Joseph isn't going to be the head coach is flat out experience. I love Mickey Joseph. I think he's done an admirable job. Should we keep him? No. I hope he stays on staff, but then I hope he goes somewhere else. And I'm glad he's not going to be the head coach, and the number one reason why is because we bury him. That's really it. I mean, I see all you people saying, I love Mickey Joseph. Really? Then why would you want him to be the head coach of Nebraska football? Because in 3 years, we'll probably hate him because he won't be successful. And if you look at it and go, well, he will be successful, that's really wishful thinking. It's just, put it this way. Consider this. Well, Matt Rhule isn't going to win. Okay. What makes you think Mickey Joseph is going to win? We're taking a bigger chance on a guy with no experience whatsoever. Go back to the number one reason. I don't really want us to have to bury Mickey Joseph because I love him. That's really it. And when you love people, you want the best one. And sometimes I think it's better that we hired a guy that none of us really have a lot of personal feelings about. Because if you look at all the coaches, I mean, look at what we did to Bo Pelini. We drove that guy insane. Bill Callahan, I don't think we drove him insane because he was just too thick. The skin was too thick. But we're tough on head coaches. That's why we pay them millions of dollars to put up with us as Nebraska fans. You could say things like, well, we shouldn't do that. But accept the fact that that's who we are. We are nasty after losing. And it's important to us because, again, this thing drives the ego of the state. Have you seen that Fansville commercial, my favorite commercial of all time, where the guy's standing next to the river and everybody comes to him because he's not upset enough? Okay, That guy standing by the river who says maybe there's more to life, and the girl goes insane and says he's lost it. We're those people that are confronting him. We're not that guy standing by the river. That is Nebraska fans. And why would you want to subject a guy that you love and Mickey Joseph to that kind of behavior from us? That is not love. Unless you have some, what's going on with your families? My God. That's just, Mickey Joseph is going to be fine no matter what he does. He's going to be successful no matter what he does. And if we really loved him, there's those cheesy Hallmark phrases. You know what? If we really loved him as much as we said we do, we'd let him go. And I think those are the main things that I needed to address in this video. I'm looking forward to your comments. I'm John Johnston, CornNation. It's going to be fun. It is. It's going to be interesting. Take care of yourselves. Merry Christmas. Go Big Red.